screens. Just did a detailed video a few minutes ago explaining everything. Well, not everything, about some of the features and some of the things this screen can do. Just found out today through some of the testing that these screens are, of course, waterproof. Of course, I figured they would be with the elements we put into it, but knowing that the screen is easy to be peeled off had me in some concerns that if we had it, if water were to get to the screen, would it dissolve it? And actually, no. Actually, what we figured out was the fact that doing some testing, that when the screen is wet, they're even harder to peel off. So you have to wait till the screen dries before you can actually remove it. Once it dries, it easily comes off. So this is one of the features of this technology for window advertisement. I get asked a lot how easy it to be to remove all glass. People do not want to be going against the glass with a power washer or harsh soaps. They don't want to damage the surface. And this is one of the cool features of it, that when you're done with it, you could peel it off and that's it. And your windows just go right back to normal. You just go over it with some hot water or warm water and a rag or a sponge, and that's it. And you're done. So that's one of the cool features about it. And that's one of the things when I said that we're going to be pinpointing on. We just did a video. Wait till you see the video I just uploaded. Oh my goodness, man. I got some really, we're outside today. Got some really good detailed videos off of that. And keep in mind, this technology is only at 5% done. It's nowhere near completion. We're just now figuring out things about it. One of the things, like I said, my concern was that if the screen got hit with any water, being easy to peel off, would that basically cause some problems for the screen? Finding out, no, it actually fuses even stronger to the surface when it's wet. Even when it's dry, still I'm able to pull tape off of it over and over and over again because I got to tape it up there, and it doesn't pull off with tape. You just got to add a little pressure to it and it peels right off, which is great. All right, so like I said, I got to come here and clean my floor. This one is going to be coated next with a black invisible technology. Now, we've been doing black invisible technology for a very, very, very long time. And there are things you have to look for when it comes to black invisible technology. Number one, you should be able to see a snow field on both sides of the surface. That you should be able to walk around the screen on both sides, and you shouldn't get a freckle effect, a black freckle effect. And that's where certain products don't mix well together, and they spit these little freckles or black fragments all over the screen, and you will see that on the opposite side, always on the rear. You will see that come up. This really dirty image will pop up. This is known if you're for people who have tried to do black screens, and we've had these problems in the past where this has happened. And this is how we learned basically how to get around it and how to design a better formula. This also comes in what kind of products you use that will trigger this effect. All right, so first thing we're going to do here, I'm going to take up my screen here because I got to change this out and get this ready for my new surface. So you can come over here with me and see this. So this is very important because companies that are going to be buying this want to know how easy is this to remove off their glass. Like I said, storefront window glass is very expensive. They don't want their glass damaged. They don't want it scratched. They don't want it cracked. Nothing at all. So you have to be to remove it. And this is one of the things that, like I said, when we do these demonstrations, when people try to mimic our work, these are things that they will leave out because they can't do it. There's no way in the world you're peeling. And like I said, we've done this already. We've tested poly and black. That's why I know you're not peeling that. That's a permanent coating. That's not going to come off at all. So it has to be able to be peeled off the glass very easy. Because the first thing you're going to ask is, hey, look, if I don't want this anymore and I want to remove this off my glass, what am I going to have to go through to remove it? So we'll get this done and get this all peeled off, get this ready. And then we got to wash this down. I'm leaving this surface here. Now we're going to do one. I got a bigger screen coming in because this is not big enough. This is just for tests. This is a test surface. We're going to be testing the different ones on. The big surface that's coming in is 3 by 6 feet. That's the big surface. We need that to see it on a much larger size to see how the application is going to work. And as I said before, this particular application is not done with one coat. This is a multi-application. There are detailed instructions on how you have to paint this screen, where you have to stand at when you're actually using the paint sprayer. That's why we're marking it toward companies, because we give it to a customer. Trust me, you're not going to like the instructions that come with this thing. It is pretty, it's pretty detailed. You mess this up, you mess this up. That's all to it. That's all to it. There's no way to fix it. You mess it up. So, I had a few people asking me, because we know we got people going to come in and apply for, they're going to go in and ask for a PayPal invoice. It's not going to be that easy. You have to go to our application page. You have to fill out a detailed application. We will need a business tax ID number. We will need your business license number. We will need all that information up front in that form before we can send this to you. Now, also too, I'm going to weed out some of these other companies that I do not want to do business with. As in, you know what companies I'm talking about. Projection screen companies I don't want nothing to do with. Also too, the ad, this is not for front projection. You cannot paint this on your front projection screen. It's not going to work. It's only done, used for a transparent surface. Light has to travel back and forth through the screen in order for it to function. So it has to be some kind of light. Even if you're in the dark, keep in mind, people say, what if you're in the dark? You do know if you're in a dark environment that there's actually light in the dark, right? There's actually physical light in the dark. If not, you would be sitting in a black hole somewhere. So even in a dark environment, there is physical light. You can have all the lights out in your house. You can have all the walls painted black. You will still have some physical light in there from somewhere generating in your environment. So there's always light everywhere you go. The only places I've seen that basically light doesn't exist is that bent to black. Light does not exist. And that when they paint that stuff, light does not exist in that area. And a black hole, unless there's something else out there that basically can block all existence of light. Besides, you know, I had somebody saying, man, if I was in a black hole, I would have the ultimate dark environment. No, you wouldn't, because even the light from your projector wouldn't even exist. Black hole absorbs all black light, also all light. So even the light from your projector wouldn't even exist at all. So yeah, we still got a lot of testing to do. So like I said, this is the Fusion Color, which we developed. We still have, look, I can take my fingernail and just scrape this off with my fingernail, because you don't want to go against this with a paint scraper. That's the last thing you want to do. You mess up and scrape the daylights out of your windows. See how clean it is? That's how you want it. Now, I just did the promo video a few minutes ago. Oh, that came out so nice. So we'll see where we go with this, but like I said, we're done with the Novas. We have enough Novas to choke a horse, and the Novas basically, they carry their own weight by themselves. As I said before, that I am going to be retiring. My company is in the process of negotiation being purchased. A company came in. I'm not going to tell you the company. It's up to them at the end if they want to tell you who they are. They probably are going to tell you who they are, because they are planning to basically purchase all of the Novas. And the reason why is because they're planning to sell those to customers. They're going to keep up with what we're doing over here by selling back to customers. So they're going to actually branch off and get two businesses out of it. So they are going to sell back to customers. That they are going to do. So I told them that the Novas and the Signature 17s is all that we're making for customers right there. We have enough right there to do the job. And they're going to market to that. We are also doing several customized screen paints. I told you we do those too for companies, for some projects that they're working on. And those are being bought off individually, purchased individually for that technology. So this right here, they're probably going to want the rights to this too. Chances are they're going to want the rights to it. So this is where my dilemma comes in. I want to retire. I basically, if I have to have somebody run the company. And after I have somebody run the company, I mean, that to run somebody oversee it, this particular part. So say if I branch off, start my own business again, and I just develop this technology only, sun killer technology. This is what I do. And I'm marketing this off to big companies. I don't want to go down that road because, like I said, I might just have somebody, I might just offer it to them to just buy it. I have to figure out what I want to do. I know one thing, I just want to get up in the morning and do nothing. Don't want to do YouTube videos. I don't want to do, don't get me wrong, I love what I do for a living, I do, but I'm tired, man. I've been doing this for a long, long time. It's time for me to rest. Time for me to enjoy life. You know, I enjoy it already as it is, but some days when I get up, I just don't want to work. Everybody got that. And I've been doing this for quite a long time. I want to do something else. I want to garden, something like that. I just want to do something opposite of what I'm doing. I could never understand that. I told you, I have a friend of mine, she makes 7 figures a year. She works for Microsoft. She used to work for Microsoft, and she did security encryption for their computer, their security computers and stuff like that. Really high IQ, extremely high IQ. amazing woman. And she quit her job. I could never understand why. I said, well, why would you quit a job that pays that kind of money to begin with? I just don't have it there no more. I just don't feel the same way I felt about it many years ago. I just want to do something simple. That's it. She got into landscaping. That's what she did. Made 7 figures a year and got into landscaping. Now I understand. Didn't understand then, but I understand now. When I move out of here and get my 4 acres and buying this house right here, and I'm setting this up for somebody, and then I'm going to basically, the house I'm getting, I'm make sure I get about 5 or 6 acres on it, because I like feeding animals. I do. I love feeding animals. I might get me a couple of Pacas. I want a couple of them. I feed the squirrels and stuff. Hopefully I get the same amount of squirrels over there than I get over there, so that way I can continue to feed my squirrels. You know, that's what I want to do. Get up in the morning, sit down, and watch my squirrels all day. That's what I want to do. But they'll take over that part. And the person who's involved in buying that part of my company, very nice, very sweet person. Just to be known, I really wouldn't play with her on that level. They got a lot of power. They got a lot of reach. They want to bring a lawyer in your backyard, there'll be one in your backyard. Just want to put it that way. Just want to give you that fair warning. This is an actual corporation. So you play around with them like you want to play around with me, you're gonna get somebody. You're gonna get a nasty letter in your mailbox, and you're gonna be sitting up there all unbright-eyed, bushy-tailed in court, trying to figure out exactly how to get yourself out of that mess, because they will press on you. Just to let you know, they will press on you. And so will the other ones. They know what goes on. They watch my demonstration going on. They start from the door. They're not going to tolerate it. They're going to press on you. Which means if they have to hire an investigator to go in and track down IP addresses and addresses, yeah, you're going to be tracked down. They will find you. They're not going to play with you. I'll tell you one thing, and it's all real true, because SI found me. Screen Innovation found me. I was just doing a side-by-side demonstration against their products. I wasn't doing anything wrong. I wasn't calling them scammers or nothing nasty or anything like that. I just did a simple side-by-side demonstration. They emailed me. We talked to each other back and forth on the phone. And an argument kind of broke out over an NDA. That's what broke out about an NDA. About us trying to get an NDA to come down to Dallas, Texas. That's all I wanted. And they didn't want to give it to me. Now, why in the world would I bring down a product that I just made that's 25% done, and you want me to bring that down to Dallas, Texas without an NDA, with no insurance? I don't know what you guys might do. You guys are a big corporation. I'm a small guy. You could have reverse engineered my technology, anything. The fact that you took the time to took an interest in it, yeah, I want an NDA. I want to be protected when I go down there. And they wouldn't give it to me. They tell me they couldn't do it. So you're a corporation. I've worked with businesses before. They got their own legal firm. They can get an NDA just like that. That fast, that quick, that done. They can get it done. They could have got that information, but they didn't want to do it. I didn't trust them at all, one bit. So argument broke loose on the phone. We started throwing words back and forth. Next you know, I was at my house, and my buddy said, "Hey, there's a letter here for you. You might want to come down and look at it. And I said, well, what is it? He said, it's from Screen Innovation. It's from their lawyers. Yep. I went down there and picked it up. So I know what it's like to get one of them letters. And it's not something you want to play around with either. And even though I didn't do anything wrong at all, period, I just did a simple side-by-side demonstration. They put that order in right away, and it went quick. So I had two choices. My two choices were to remove every single video demonstration. Don't say anything nasty about them, nothing at all. I can mention their name, but I can't say anything nasty or disrespectful about them. And they don't take me to court and clean my clock. So I know what happens when you get one of those letters. And if I had avoided the letter, say if I avoided it, I didn't respond back because I had to call the lawyer and talk to the lawyer about what the letter was about. They advised me to call them. I called them and talked to them on the phone. And the guy was like, here's the deal, Mr. Burns, what's going to happen. You're going to read every video demonstration. You're not going to speak, talk, blah, 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 blah. I talked to another friend of my attorney, said, you can say their name. You just can't basically say anything that's going to slander them in any way. But you can say their name. They can't stop you from mentioning their name. This is how you how you word their name. So I went in and I removed all the videos, pictures, all that stuff. And they gave me 2 days. They gave me 2 days. No, and the jacked up thing about it is they sent the letter late. So they sent the letter late, which actually shortened my timeline of moving the videos. That was a pretty slick tactic right there. They did it on purpose because they knew I probably wouldn't have enough time to remove all the videos. And then that way they can slam me with a lawsuit. But yep, that's sirree. And if I had avoided the letter, then guess what? They'd have hired a private investigator and they'd have tracked down my whereabouts and they would have found me. And the next you know, they came to the door, there would have been a man waiting there for me like, here you go. You've been served. Yep. And then it wouldn't have been no warning. Then it would have been going to court and get my clock cleaned. But I think I would have gotten. I think if we went to court, I think I would have won because I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't basically center the product. I just did a side-by-side demonstration, and I found out something interesting about their screens that they didn't advertise in none of their videos. And then the thing about it is a friend of mine who's still a friend with me to this day, he was actually going to purchase one of their screens. And he found out the same thing too, that their screens have a little bit of a flaw in there. So yeah, when people sit there and say, well, why don't you do tests against Screen Innovation? That's the reason why we don't do tests against Screen Innovation. They don't like us so much. All right, so as we're talking, having this short story. And for those who sit there and go, oh, but that's not real. Well, I've done this many times in a video. I mean, I can do it now. It's been like, what, we got that in 2015. I'll put a link below. If you got Facebook, you can click into it and you can actually read through the documents because I have it on my Facebook business page. The letter when we had the encounter with them, we were talking with them, when they said the product has potential. And the lawyers, the documents from the lawyers that we received from them. Go on and read through it yourself. And you'll notice in the email, it will be letter at the top, Digital 4K Crystal Onyx, which is right around the time when we started developing black technology. Yep. Yes, sir, bub. So, yep. I was kind of, like I said, it's interesting because they were the ones responsible for piquing my interest in darker technology. They were the ones responsible because, like I said, when that sample sheet, I knew that gray screen paint I developed was actually was it. You know what I mean? There was nothing better than gray screen paint. That was it. That was the holy grail of home theater. Not until I got that sample sheet into my shop and I looked at it and I was like, oh my goodness. I could see basically things that I never thought you could pick up off of a screen with dark technology. Yep, and that's right around the time in 2015 we stopped. Well, actually, before that's right around the time we had that contract overseas with over in Europe. So it's interesting how everything worked out. We got rid of a contract, and at the same time, ended up working with darker technology. And through working with darker technology, we bumped into Screen Innovation, which contacted us, and that's how we got started down that road. So no, I didn't just start developing black technology this year or last year. We've been doing it since 2015 for a long time. So that's all that came together. If that sample sheet had never touched my hand, and I had never walked that into that room, I'd still be developing light technology. I'll lie to you not, I still would be developing it. Because no one was going to change my mind. You know, no one's going to change my mind that darker technology was the best. No one. I had to see it for myself. Some people don't want to accept it. They don't want to accept it. That's where it's at. That's why a lot of these bigger companies are spending all this money on these darker screens. Optima just God made a screen. I thought it was black at first, but it's gunmetal. It's a dark gunmetal screen. Now, what I like about this is the way this stuff is designed, and we figured this out today. Like I said, we're still figuring stuff out about this. So, you know, it's impossible to make a product when we haven't even figured out what we could do with it yet. So the way this stuff is developed is, as this stuff gets wet, like say if it's raining outside, I thought it would peel because this stuff peels off pretty easy, but it doesn't. Isn't that interesting? So that's why I said you got to be careful about doing demonstrations against products that you don't know anything about. Even we didn't know that stuff could do that at all, period. Because I'm thinking, okay, I can peel the screen off. Got a bit some worries about putting it out in the rain because maybe the water might dissolve it. If it could peel off that quick, maybe the screen might be dissolved by water. And it's not. It's actually waterproof. And as you can see me rubbing my hand across it, it doesn't peel off. When the screen's dry, I can take tape and I can run it back and forth and it doesn't come off. It's only when you scrape it a little bit on the edge, you got to scrape it, put a little force on the edge, it peels right off. So it's not, excuse me about that, it's not a finished product in no way whatsoever. Still has a lot of testing to go with that technology. And that's why, you know, people, like I said, they embarrass themselves. They go out, they try to make the product, they don't even come close to making the technology, and then they don't realize that the product is only around 3 to 5% done. There's still a whole lot of testing that has to be done. So you're going to see a whole lot of testing on that product as the weeks go on different things we're going to be doing to the screen to see how it reacts to this, see how it reacts to that. So how in the world are you going to make a product that somebody else designed if you haven't done all the tests? Heck, we haven't even done all the tests yet. That's the first time y'all saw that one. So that's why I say that, you know, people need to learn to mind their own business. And at that, we still haven't seen a peel-off screen demonstration yet. And I haven't seen an outside direct sun demonstration yet, and that's what it's designed to do. But apparently that's something new right there in the kitchen. Now, I can tell you right from the door what's going to happen, right from the door. We just did the demonstration, peeled the screen off, right? Correct? We have it sitting there in the sink, being drowned in water as we had this conversation, correct? What people will do that cut corners, they'll skip this part of the demonstration. They can't do this part. But they'll do the demonstration that's in the kitchen and say, hey, look, it does the same thing. I can submerge it underwater too. It does the same thing. Just like when we showed off the demonstration of the screen being displayed outside in direct sunlight, we show the screen being displayed inside. They'll do the demonstration of the screen being displayed inside. They'll avoid the demonstration of the screen being displayed outside. That's not how we do demonstrations. You have to follow the whole thing. Let's go over and check the screen. I'm going to have to paint some of this nothing. That is impressive. So this is what we learned today. That's what we learned today. We found out today. I can submerge this thing in water now. We're going to get a piece. We're going to cut a small piece off, get a piece and coat it. We're going to submerge it out in water. We're going to take another one. We're going to stick it outside and let it sit there for about a good 4 or 5 months. Like I said, this stuff is not going to be ready in a week. It's not going to be ready in 2 weeks. It's not going to be ready in 3 weeks, 6 months. It has to be thoroughly tested. This is invisible technology. It's a whole different world from designing front projection screen paint. It requires a lot of testing. Companies are going to be paying what they're going to be paying me, and it's going to be quite a lot. I have to make sure to ensure them by my test demonstrations that that screen's going to be to hold up, which means we need cold weather. We got to freeze the screen too. It's got to be frozen. So I got to cut off a piece. I got to stick it in my freezer for a couple of days. Turn it into a block of ice to see exactly how cold it takes to crack that surface. All that stuff has to be tested. And interesting, in the demonstration you saw of somebody trying to make the product, they didn't do any of those tests because we weren't even at that ready point to do those tests to begin with. We're just doing showing the screen outside, taking direct sunlight. It's the first stages of this kind of technology. There's a whole lot of tests to go after it. Whole lot of tests. Whole lot of services. Now keep in mind, I have to see how this stuff's going. It's on plastic right now. How does it react to glass? I have to bring in a sheet of glass, coat that. It's got to go through the same thing. It's got to be soaked in water. It's got to be frozen. We've got to heat it up to see exactly how much pressure that can take. We have to do all different forms of transparent surfaces over and over and over again and again and again and again. See? There you go. So it's not as easy as just basically mixing poly and black paint or frost paint and painting it on something. There's a lot of tests required in that. One of the things they'll ask for is angle gain. Can I pick that screen up on 190 angle gain? So if a customer is walking this way, or in the demonstration you will see that will be posted, if you're across the street, can you see that across the street with sunlight hitting the screen? Can you make it out crystal clear? There you go. If you're using 5200 lumens, can 5200 lumens pierce to the screen and blind a customer on the other side? All those tests have to be done. Where's my surface? My curve. All right, so this is like I said, I would have been suggesting that, you know, because it's peel off, the screen would crack under water. Water would be a problem for it, you know. But eventually, no, it doesn't. It doesn't affect it. So people need to learn to mind their own business, saves themselves a world of embarrassment. A world of embarrassment. Because like I said, we're still testing the technology. There's a whole lot of tests that this product has to go through. Rear technology testing is a little different from basically front projection. It's a lot of testing. Like right now, the formula may marry well to plastic, might not marry well to glass. It may peel on plastic and not peel on glass. There's a whole lot of stuff that will pop up. can see here, that's the projector glare. That's the projector canceled out. That's the projector glare. That's the projector canceled out. You have to either show the difference between regular plastic and your technology. All this stuff has to be done. See how it reacts differently to the rear? In the front, you can't see this or this, right? Now watch this. When we go to the back of it, now you can see that and that. I bet you didn't even know that. Rear projection acts completely different from front projection. Completely different. It's a whole other world. You can't see it here. So how come you don't see the image here and here on this side, but you only see it in here? But when we go over here, you can see the image here and here. OLED, beta, fish. I need to do one of those too. We need to do a half and half. That we need to do too. OLED, beta fish. See that blinding light from the projector? Not there. All you can see is my reflection. Not there. All lights on. That's what I explained in the demonstration I just did. I explained to my investors that you have to be in a fully lit environment at all times. You should be able to see the entire screen in the environment. The camera should not be zoomed up on the screen. You need to see everything. Starfield screensaver. TLC 4K demonstration. The image has to be clean. We're talking about no imperfections, no freaking freckles, none of that nonsense. Same as in the front. Has to be the same as the back. Has to be clean. Oh, yeah, I told you. Sun killer technology. This stuff can take a direct hit from sunlight, pretty much. It can pull up anywhere. I told you, anywhere. Outer space. Screensavers. Skip the hard stuff. Bright stuff is easy. And this is on a 5% formula. Nowhere near completed. Still has much testing to go through. Gonna have a look at the environment real quick. How nice and bright it is out here. Well, they out here working today, getting the job done. See how bright it is out here? Let's bring it back some. So we just took the screen submerged in water, rubbed the living daylights out of it, didn't crack or peel, peeled the screen off, part of it, actually most of it, left a little piece in the middle, set it up on a table, hit it with a projector, showed front and back with contrast, color, white levels, the whole 9 yards. Then we took it outside and we hit it, which is supposed to be designed to be to take images outside, and there you go. We're showing Starfield demonstrations outside. They're spraying a ton of pesticides. Of course, it's got to be friendly for the animals, because if not, animal rights activists will be down here and it'd be all kinds of craziness. But anyway, yeah, they're doing some work out there. I want to be out there right now. Oh, got glasses. Where is it? Yep, go in there. Nope, that's not gonna stick. Let me get a fresh piece. And you gotta be able to, and like I said, we still got a lot more testing to go with this. We're nowhere near completion on this technology. Is this glass wet? Let me see something for a minute. Oh yeah, it is wet. How did this get wet? How in the world does it get wet? That's odd. All right, let's try this one again. It won't stick for my glasses wet. Okay. I figured out that one was done. All right, so now we got it inside. Well, so to speak. For some reason, something is real eerie about that spot right there. It's not wet. It's dry. It's dry. Let me see. I tend to want to stick there. I don't know why. Put a big piece on there and see what happens. See if this does it. All right. That gonna stay? That's weird. Just could not get that up there to stay up there. All right, I'm gonna sit in this chair right here. Ugh. Now we got it on the inside of the glass. Before we had it outside. Let's see. Oh, my projector's way off. It's crooked too. Let's see, which side do we have up too high? We had this side. Nope, not too much. Too much. All right, that's better than what it was before. But still a little crooked in there. Definitely a little crooked. Sorry about that, people. Trying to get around my projector. I don't know why we're crooked on that side, but this side. I can't stand having a crooked screen. Drop the nuts. There we go. That's better. That was driving me a little nuts. Okay. Now, curious. Usually we put them outside. We project them outside. What happens if we have it inside and we do it? Which I never did that before. So let's see what happens. I gotta be careful because I don't want to nail the screen. I'm curious. I have to bring the screen over a little bit. I'm gonna see what it looks like if we do it the other way around. Of course, we're gonna have to have coating this side. And this is, like I said, having a product at only, this doesn't want to stick at all, it's coming down. Having a product at only 5% done, we got plenty of room to play around with the screen to see how it's going to react. This is about testing. All right, so try to see if we can get something to stick up here. I never heard of tape not sticking to glass. Like, literally never heard of that. All right, so we've done this from the inside out, outside in. So I'm curious if I got to do squeeze in here somehow. All right, just need enough room to get in here. Ugh. Wow, okay. That's interesting. So it's there, but we're getting a reflection from the glass. See, the glass is reflecting off. Yeah, it's better if the screen's outside. Well, that's just gonna have to lay flat to the glass. I'm gonna tape that flat to the glass and see what happens. Okay, so what kind of reaction do I get if I tape it flat to the glass? Yeah, you're definitely going to see too much reflection coming off the glass. That's not good. Yeah, it's better if it's basically outside. So good thing it's weatherproof, so I don't have to worry about the water jacking up the screen now. So that's good to know. So it's going to have to be on the outside. So now we know that. See, that's why all these tests are important. So we know if we have it inside, and we're trying to, if people want to have it inside the glass and basically project out this way, it's better to have it outside. If the glass is, it's not going to get damaged in any way whatsoever. Comes up much better. But like I said, we're at 5%, so we got plenty of room to change the formula, plenty of room to do upgrades. We have plenty of room to play around with it. Now, something else I need to see real quick. So you have to understand, with the surface being easy to be peeled off, that's why I had to soak the screen, that's why I had to rub it, to see, well, if I wet the screen and I rub it, would that basically cause the screen to peel? Because these screens are designed to be peeled off. I'm going to try this with duct tape. So let's see how we're going to do this so you guys can see it. And I have to redo this test again anyway. You can see it from there. Aha! Yes. All right, we know not to do that. Good. So all this stuff is important. It allows me to see that, no, you do not want to put tape on the screen and rip it off. But then again, it is still wet. So we already put it in water. We rubbed it under water, which is good. So that means the bottom line is I can basically have this outside. Water can hit the screen, it's not going to dissolve. My biggest concern, like I said, because the screen's easy to peel off, I don't want something where if it's easy to peel off, if water gets on the screen, if it gets under the screen, if they're going to lift the screen and cause it to basically peel off the surface. You don't want that. Someone painting this on the storefront window, moisture gets up underneath of it and the screen is confident to peel right off. So that's good. So I'm able to rub the screen and we're not having that problem. Cool. I don't like, the reason why I like to do a lot of these videos private, because we'll get those individuals like, look, his screen peeled. You don't, because you don't do tests. All these tests are important. You know how many cars they crash in car, when they test cars, you know how many times they wreck a car over and over again, testing brakes, testing doors. All this stuff is important. So I need to see, this is how I know how much pressure a screen can take, because the screen literally has to be wrecked while we're doing it so we can see exactly what kind of pressure can take. You don't see these demonstrations. You'll see demonstrations on my YouTube channel of me freezing screens, doing all kinds of crazy stuff, heating them up. You have to do all this. Because this tells me when a person buys a screen, whatever you do is just don't tape things to the screen, because people will literally tape stuff on the screen. Don't tape stuff on the screen. You treat it much like you treat a TV. Now, I already know basically by soaking it in water and rubbing against it really hard, which we just did, didn't come up, which is good. It means I can have it outside if I want to, and I don't have to worry about that. That's a good sign. As I'm putting tape on it and pulling it off, no, it's not something you want to go do. So that's good to know. But all these are tests that have to be done. So let's get the rest of this off, because the next coating that's going to go on here is going to be black. So we have to get this thing cleaned up. I got to get my table cleaned up, because my table's a mess in my kitchen. And then we have to see if we can get it to react to plastic and stuff like that. Now, we do have a spray-on application, but we don't show that on YouTube at all, period. That video is basically sent to, it's an instructional video. They're sent to people who basically have contracts or bottom line are doing business with our company. They're the only ones to get access to those particular videos on the screen. There's no point in basically putting any information out there. I think the more we leave mystery to the screen, the less people know, and the less people know, the more of the fools they will make of themselves. Because like I said, and this demonstration is completely different from all the other ones I've done, because this is our first time taking the screen and submerging it in water. So I'm just taking my finger and just going lightly over this. That's it. This is how easy this stuff shows up, so you don't really have to go really hard on it. So under the key features of this technology, like I said, being able to peel the screen off with ease. We got to get this ready for that black surface too. Big plus. Make sure how easy this is to scrape off. I'm just using my fingernail. I'm not even using a scraper. That's it. That's how easy it dissolves and comes up. Don't have to go over the paint scraper or nothing. Stick my finger with a fingernail and that's it. And I doubt you're gonna scrape or put a mark in a storefront window with your fingernail. If that's the case, then what kind of freaking fingernails do you got? Yep, that's it. Get this ready. So if you notice, we use the same surface to apply. We're going to use it to apply all 4 screens. That's another one of the demonstrations showing you that we don't have to, the screens are easy to be removed. Let me see, battery life is dying on my phone. Let me see, where is the charger? I don't think I even have a charger that goes that far in there in the kitchen. Let me see. I think charger's upstairs. I'll leave you guys right here for a minute. I don't grab a charger. Shut up. So that's another thing we're going to be doing in this demonstration. We're using the same surface to paint all 3 screens. That's what we're going to do. Oh, I don't have an outlet. There's an outlet in my kitchen, don't I? I do. The range and the oven's plugged up to it. Oh, get in there. Really? Don't let me know that, aren't you? There you go. You ever argue with your plugs before because they won't go in? So that's another demonstration we're also going to be doing because, like I said, we're going to be using the same surface for all 4 screens, showing you how easy it is to remove it from one screen, put another application, use that, take it off, do another application. So we'll get this one ready. So already we did the dark gray, we did the fusion color, already done. Now we're going to do the black. That's going to be the next one. Got some water on the floor. Ain't worried about that. Got to mop the floor anyway today. You don't really need any soap or anything to remove it at all. Just your fingernails and some, we're just using cold water to just clean the screen down from any residue that may still be on the screen. So that's what we're doing right now. That's all. And there we are. Nice clean finish. Whoop. All right, yeah, we got that piece now. Nice clean finish from top to bottom. This is what you want when you're doing window advertising. You want a product that can take on direct sunlight. You want a product that, bottom line is, that you can see from front to rear, nice and crystal clear. You're not going to have any imperfections, not a muddy image. You want your image to be nice and clear because you're advertising off of this. How are you going to advertise food and it looks muddy and dirty? You don't want that. And then on top of that, you can see the screen can take in a ton of ambient light. We can take ambient light outside and you can take it inside. But most important is that the customer needs to be able to remove this off his glass without having any form of complications. Has to be removed off. Because the last thing you want to do is go in toward a window that's going to cost you $6 grand and coming at it with a power wash or basically hitting it with harsh soaps or basically going at it with a paint scraper and damage your window. That's the last thing you want. You want something you can remove off. And the beautiful thing about this, which we just found out today, that we can soak this thing in water, and you see me take my finger just rubbing it, doesn't come up at all. We don't care about the tape because, quite frankly, you shouldn't be putting tape on the screen to begin with at all, period. So that's something good to know that, tell them do not tape or put stuff on the screen. Sometimes people have an advertising screen. I don't know why you would even have that up there because these things are not even transparent, but I don't know. But anyway, good thing we just know that. All right, from the door. So that's fantastic to know. So we're gonna let this dry. I gotta get ready to take care of some customers today, for today. As I said before, that the technology is only going to be used for commercial use. Sorry about that, but it is only going to be used for commercial use. We haven't decided how much it's going to cost. I think I was kidding around at $600 a gallon, but it's going to be way more than that. But I haven't decided how much. And it says only available in gallons. Yeah. Free world shipping, only available overseas. What else? Yeah, you need a PayPal invoice. You're not going to the website to get this at all, period. You can't go to the website at all. It won't show up on the website at all. It's not available on the website. PayPal invoice must be needed, and you must fill out an application. And if we don't approve of the application, you don't get the product. It's not going to be an easy product to go in and buy. So we will ask for your business application. I'm actually going to be putting an application up on the page. We get the emails for one to get that application. And if your application doesn't pass and we see anything faulty there that does not look right, like the company is fake, and then we don't sell it to you. You don't get it. All right, well, that being said, I got a lot more testing to go. We're only at 5%. We got a lot more to do, so until then, gotta go, and God bless.